I am back for Walk and Talk Wednesday. I hope it's Wednesday. I can't keep track of days. We're just going for it today. I have missed everybody. I know it has been like a month, I think, since we have made a video or have done a walk and talk. So we're going to do a little bit of a life update, and then I want to talk about the of course, Carlos and I are going to make some videos about the Idaho 4 case. I have been watching everybody else read the documents and, appreciate hearing all the information coming out. It's so much. I can't keep track of it. Carlos and I were going back and forth last night, and I think we do it as like our, for me anyways, it's like a pre-warm up to doing a video so I can get all my emotions out, because I get a little upset sometimes. He'll say a little. So if you aren't familiar with us, Typically Unique, my husband and I do our show together, and we usually see lots of things from two different perspectives. So definitely with the Idaho 4 case, I've always been questioning everything with the case, and Carlos has always thought that they've had the right guy from the beginning. So if you haven't seen any of our videos, go check them out. We have a lot of good, lively discussions. So, life update. This is one of them. I just got this hard brace wrap. It's just like a cast, except you can take it off so it doesn't get wet. And I have injured my wrist. I did it way back. I know it was before July 29th because I haven't recorded since we went to Chicago. My daughter and I went to Lollapalooza. And I remember going to a doctor's appointment. It was just a checkup. It wasn't a doctor that, was for my wrist, but I mentioned it to him. And so that, when we're talking about memories and people having to give witness statements in these cases, it's easy for me to remember that because there's a memorable event that went along with that day. Like, I know we left that day to go to Chicago, so it's easy for me to remember what I did on that exact day. But it really didn't bother me. Like, I think I did two different things to my wrist. I landed on it wrong, and that's what I did before we went to Chicago. So yeah, it was bothering me, but I just was careful with it. Then we came back home, and one of the reasons why I haven't been recording, we haven't been recording, is because I have told everybody, I'm retiring, and I've been saying I am retired because the school year ended. Oh, there's some people in here. Let me see. Hello, everybody joining. I see all the highs. Hello. So I say I was retiring because I didn't have to start this school year. Like, I was done at the end of the school year with a classroom. So, but when I was first hired as a teacher, long ago, children, I taught for 32 years. So 32 years ago, they hired me like 2 weeks after the school year. Look how pretty that background is. Look at the sky. Nice. They hired me like 2 weeks after the school year had already started. So, the state, they have to count every single day to give you time. So I did not get a full year's credit for that first year. It's warmer out here than I thought. Sun feels nice. So I needed to make up 0.08 of a school year. So I have been working for 2 weeks. I started at the beginning of August and I just finished last week. So I got that 0.08 completed and now I'm free. So it's a great feeling. And while I was doing that work, and this is the bad part of aging and memory, especially being a woman with your memory. I know I clocked my wrist on something, but I can't remember what it was. Like, I remember doing it and being like, yeah, and then just went on my day. But ever since then, my wrist has been worse and worse and worse and worse. It took a long time to get into the doctor to get an x-ray. It wasn't bad enough to go to the emergency room. That's why it's taken so long. Like, I could use it. It didn't feel good when I used it. So here I am, casted up. The x-ray didn't show a broken bone. But I know sometimes x-rays don't show everything. So now I'm waiting for my insurance to approve an MRI so we can really see what's going on, because it's either a really bad tendon or something like that, or a fracture that maybe they missed. So this sucks. And this is even not my dominant hand. And I don't realize how many things you need 2 hands for. I can't stand it. Oh my God. So that's been going on. Carlos and Carly threw me a party on Saturday and invited all my friends, a couple former colleagues, and it was so fun. And your friends know you when a couple of the gifts I got had to do with true crime. They were being funny, like, you need hobbies now. Hi, Charles. You need hobbies now. So, I got some kind of true crime puzzle to put together in the wintertime. I'll save it for the wintertime, because if you saw my videos with the snowstorms we get, yeah, we get shut inside during the wintertime a lot. I'll be doing my walk and talks on the treadmill. But I did go out and walk last winter, so we'll see. But that was fun, having that party. So now everything's finally died down. I've only been, school just started Friday, so they're only on their 4th day of school, I believe. So I don't think it's set in for me yet. I do think about it. I'm like, oh, they're at school today. I'm not. So I am going to start from the beginning, reading these documents that have been released. I'm going to start with Moscow. Those were the first ones that were released. I know everybody's already read them, but I also feel like, they're read during lives, which allows for a lot of good discussion while you're reading them. And I love that. I join all those lives. It's nice to be with people and talk about what you're hearing. But I'm going to just read them as videos. And I'm going to let everybody who wants to use them, because it'll be just the document being read. I'm going to try not to make any sarcastic comments while I'm doing it. Hi, Carly. I am. Do they sound okay? Yeah, you guys, that's one of my retirement gifts. I got these really cool wraparound headphones that don't even go in your ear. So, true crime safety. So I can hear without my ears being plugged. First time I've used them, just charged them this morning. I love the way, I can't even tell they're there. Wondering how they sound. Oh, good. Yay. All right. Okay, so this case that's been going on in Kentucky, um, there was a sheriff who shot and killed the judge in his chambers, I guess you would call it. It was the office, like cold blood, like stood right in front of him and just shot him. Middle of the day, everybody knew he was in there, no secret. You know, his fellow officers came and arrested him right away. Oh, Carly, the headphones feel amazing. I just said, like, I can't even tell I have them on. I didn't even think about it till you asked me. I'm like, oh, yeah. I like that my ears aren't clogged. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. So, as soon as he did it, they're in the courthouse. So, there's officers all over the place. So they had to, like, either keep people that were there for court that day, like, locked in rooms. They cleared the courthouse. Otherwise, everybody had to get out. They arrest the guy. And there's video footage of this, the body cam. He was freaking out. Not denying that he did it. They kept asking him, why did you do it? He was terrified of his fellow officers. Like, afraid they were going to take him in a back room somewhere. He kept saying, you're going to kill me. I don't trust you guys. He was, like, asking. It was hard to follow. He was asking to be at a certain jail, to be housed in a certain jail. And it sounded like he was asking to stay there or not wanting to stay there, wanting to go somewhere else. But then he was afraid of them transporting him and that they were going to pull off, in the woods somewhere. And I mean, he was just really, really scared of them. Even when they did walk him from inside the courthouse, they had to go, if you watch the Karen Reed case, they had to go to the Sally Port, which is the little garage area where they keep, like, their vehicles. He was very suspicious, afraid to, like, round corners and go through doors because he just thought he was going to get jumped at any time. So the video ends once they either get in the car. I don't know if we actually see. No, we do see him arrive at the new facility because, he was wanting certain people to be with him, and you can see them making the transition from the couple officers that drove him there, handing him over to the new officers, and all of that. So he's been locked up at this new place. Okay, so what happened? The day that this happened, okay, the courthouse is on a little main street area. So there's little businesses and restaurants and things around. And a group of coworkers from the courthouse walked across the street, lunch together, and the sheriff was there, the judge was there, and some other people were there. And there was some talk that maybe some things were said, kind of trying not to let everybody hear, maybe giving off some vibes that something is going on from the people that were there reporting. So then after lunch, the sheriff and the judge, like, they were, co-workers. I don't know if they were buddies outside of work. One of their tasks was to deliver meals to homebound people, kind of like a Meals on Wheels kind of thing. So they went and did that. They were each in their own vehicles. And maybe the sheriff didn't do it all the time. Well, no, he did. Because I guess, they're going in tandem. He was following the judge, I guess. And the judge took a different route and went off to, like, some kind of like isolated place that wasn't on their normal route. There was no reason for them to go there. He didn't say what happened when they did that, but that freaked him out. He was, and we're learning all of this through the body cam footage after he shoots the judge. He's sitting in the hallway of the courthouse. There's like 2 to 3 officers around him. They're trying to calm him down, you know, saying like, you know me, I'm not going to do anything to you. But they're definitely asking him questions, like they want to know why. So these little like tidbits of what happened comes out while he's sitting there, but he really doesn't want to tell them anything. He never said why. So he got really freaked out about this turn off the path or going a different direction with the judge, but obviously he made it back to the courthouse. So then there is a video camera in the judge's chambers, and it doesn't have sound, so it's just video. So the actual shooting is on video. Of course, they blur it out, but you can see him get up and walk over to him and pull out his gun. But before that, they're sitting, he goes into the judge's office and is sitting across the desk from him. And apparently, what was reported was that he was talking about not being able to get a hold of his daughter. And his daughter is a teenager. I'm not sure her exact age. So he's been worried all day, couldn't get a hold of his daughter. And for some reason, he asked to use the judge's cell phone, personal cell phone, to try to get a hold of his daughter, which that's weird. Like, are you that close of family friends that you're thinking, you know how you do with your friends sometimes when you're like, oh, this guy I like won't answer my phone call. Let me try to use your phone and see if he'll answer your call. People have talked about that in the Idaho 4 case, right, with Maddie and Kaylee calling Jack. And it kind of seemed like the maybe almost same thing here. So he does that, and I don't know why this is reported, because I don't think there's any sound on that video, like I said, but for some reason it was reported that, or maybe it was just speculated, that when he had the judge's phone and he went to dial his daughter's number, her number was already in his phone, and it shouldn't have been. So after that, they exchanged some words. You can see his like facial expressions kind of change. He stands up, he walks over, and that's when he shoots him. Like, just as quick as that. So now the question becomes, you know, why did he do this? So, okay, so once that happens and the sheriff is arrested, part 2 happens. And women, victims, start coming out of the woodwork about this judge. So apparently there was a schmex, what's the other word? Ring, you know, going on, abuse of women that were arrested, you know, for misdemeanors or, you know, get sentenced to jail for a few months, things like that. And apparently, if you went to visit the judge and do some favors, you know what I mean, you would get a lesser sentence. So that was happening. Then it was reported, and there were victims that came out and told, like, you know, how many times, what happened, and also that everybody in the town knew about it. Everybody at the courthouse knew about it. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I live in a small town. I get it. Sometimes it's just, you can't see the forest through the trees, right? You're in it. Like, hey, Lori, thanks for joining. Do you know the case I'm talking about? That Kentucky sheriff I thought I would talk about that one real quick because interesting. So these girls come out and they're like telling about all this stuff. And then someone from the courthouse talks, and maybe anonymously, probably. Like everybody's afraid of backlash, right? It's the power control, people who control power in the city as law enforcement that you're accusing. So there could be a lot of backlash. But someone comes out from the courthouse and says that um, the the people who worked in the jail in charge of the inmates were taking them because the jail was right at the courthouse. Same building. So after hours, when all the normal staff from the courthouse would go home and the office area was empty, they would take the female inmates up to these rooms, and then in exchange, they would get, extra commissary, extra privileges, extra time, you know, outside, whatever. Let me know if I'm missing any updates because I haven't looked at it in a while, Lori. So then you're thinking, well, I was thinking, did the sheriff know about all this, right? Because they said everybody knew. Everybody knew. Or was he late to the party and just finding out and he was going to do something about it? So if that was the case, then the judge kind of acting weird and taking him down some off-beaten path to have a conversation or maybe make a threat makes sense. So to me, that's one option. Because as far as I know, the sheriff hasn't spoke yet. He hasn't said why. So was he going to like bust the ring and get everybody in trouble? And then maybe the sheriff found out and threatened him, so maybe he was under a threat. I don't know. That's one option. I don't know if that's my most favorable option. The other, because something happened in a split second that made him get up out of his chair. And it was pretty calm. I don't know when you can't tell what he was feeling inside, but all of a sudden he just gets up, walks over, boom. What would make you do that? I think it's something to do with his daughter. Because, I said he was trying to get a hold of her and use the judge's phone. But apparently he had been asking about his daughter all day. Like, he didn't know where she was. So if she was involved in that somehow, oh, I could see a dad flying off like that. So something. I guess there's a third option. And I guess the third option would be the sheriff was involved, right, in this whole mess. Because remember, everybody knew, so that's not far-fetched. He's involved. Maybe the judge was going to do something about it, and then the sheriff flips out and does that. So I think there's like three scenarios that make the most sense for why. But hopefully this goes to trial. I feel like I'm jaded now about waiting for trials after the Idaho case. Just taking a plea and then we never find out any answers. So that's what I know about that case so far. Anybody else have any new information about that case? Or what do you think his motivation was? Have you thought about a fourth scenario that I haven't thought of? Or do you agree with one of the scenarios that I said? I wanted to ask everybody who's in here, if you're listening or if you're listening later, going to the Idaho 4 case. Okay. This is one of the things I got heated over with Carlos last night. The video that just got released on Law and Crime with the girls and Hunter and Emily and, everybody outside of the house right when the cops arrive in the very first interviews that they give. I swear, the first day that everybody was watching it on all their lives, and I think I heard this on multiple channels when they were playing that video, that when the officer asked about the suspects, for Dylan to describe the suspect, and she mentioned him at the beginning, the suspect, and then the officer wanted to get more detailed later on. And he point blank asks her, describe the suspect. At one of those points, I swear she said he was, how did she say it? I don't know, he was a little bit taller or shorter, I'm not sure, or something like that. But I definitely heard her say taller, shorter. And the reason, again, it sticks in my head is because I'm watching the chat while I'm hearing this. I can't remember whose show it was on. And other people in the chat were pointing that out. You can't be taller and shorter. And that's a pretty no-brainer. You look at somebody and automatically you can compare yourself and say taller, shorter. But I went back, because Carlos and I were talking about it last night, to find that part to play it for him, and it's not in there. It's not, I can't find it. I looked on Law and Crime's channel. I looked on 2 other YouTubers' lives, looking for it. So I don't know how scrubbing works or how they delete things, but I also thought there was some parts at the beginning, listening to people talk, where there were bleeps of things getting bleeped out that weren't there before. So I don't know. Let me know if I'm crazy or if any of you have noticed the same thing. I even left a message on one of my favorite YouTubers' videos. I left a comment on the video asking, to see if anybody else had noticed it. Christy, Nevada! Hello! I know, I've been watching your lives too. It's so awesome to see you and hear from you on there. I love it. You're doing a great job. And my friend Lori's in here, and her and I are going to be taking a road trip. We're trying to get some other people to go with us for safety, right? But we're going to go to Delphi just to go check it out. There's still appeals going on in that case and stuff, so she just wrote in the chat, yeah, let's go to Kentucky, Lori. Anything that's in driving distance. We'll go to Delphi, and then we'll come home and rest for a day, and then we'll go to Kentucky. At Kane Bees the Purge found you. Is Kane in here? I haven't seen it. Yeah, there he is! Yay! Hey, Kane! You guys are up early! Everybody goes live late at night, so I feel like I have to do, I'm going to probably do earlier hours, just because, everybody's going to be watching you guys, which I don't blame them. I want to watch you guys. The only thing is with Carlos, he works normal hours, so I got to wait for him to get home and do an evening show. Kane, have you, or Christy, have you been following that Kentucky sheriff case? I was just talking about that. I don't know if you guys were in here. 6 hours already. Yeah, I know. My problem is I stay up late, then I get up early, although Carlos would say I don't get up early. And then I get run down. and get sick. Did you see my cast, Kane? Love this. This sucks so bad. I can't. I didn't know how hard it was to like try to do everything with one hand. I can't open anything. It took me an hour to tie my shoes. uh, yeah, I'm waiting to get an MRI to see if I broke anything or if it's a ligament. I know, Lori. I gotta stay on Carlos's work schedule. Although I'm gonna do my own thing. Like, I wrote down like 4 different ideas for like just myself going live. It'll be different. I think I'll be able to just interact more one on one with everybody. When Carlos and I go live together, it'll be both of us. Um, two things happened to my wrist. One time I went to sit down and kind of like lost my momentum and I was falling faster and I went to catch myself and I like overextended my thumb, like all my weight went on that. That hurt. That's not where the majority of the pain is though. I cracked my wrist on like the corner of a filing cabinet or something, and that's when it just got really bad. Really bad. And I did it over a month ago, so it wasn't bad enough to go to the emergency room. I just bought my own brace and slapped it on. And then when I showed the bone doctor, he's like, "That brace is doing nothing." I'm like, well, it kept it from hurting. I hate. Yes. You broke your left hand? Oh, yay. Yeah. The first x-rays didn't show anything broken, so I don't know. It still hurts. Plus, I keep, even though it's a hard thing on here, I can still move my fingers and thumb a little bit, so your natural instinct is to move it and use it, and every time I do, I'm like, ow. I know. I'm afraid that something like is gonna start healing wrong. Ugh, don't talk about it. Ugh. Oh, your pinky. How long did you let yours go on for, Kane? How much time do I got? I just have to laugh at myself. Like, it's ridiculous. And I've got weddings coming up. I'm going to be like, hi. uh, so, what did I hear today about the Idaho 4 case? Someone said, I think it was Birdie. He has a YouTube short. He said that the blanket and the jacket from Dylan's room, that the blood was tested and it was the victim's blood. Is that true? Christy. That's my style. That's my style. You're fully bionic now. Do you have like rods? Oh, I don't want to have that. I don't think it's that bad. I'm gonna convince myself. But you guys, tell me, was that jacket and blanket tested and it was the victim's blood on it? Is that true? He said it was in a document. I mean, I believe him. I need to know what document it was. Apparently. Oh my God. That is like, you wait till Carlos and I talk about that. And then the other thing I saw on TikTok, do you guys follow Girl? Do you know about her? She does really good short videos on TikTok since the beginning of this case. And what was hers about? Oh, the polls. You know how we've been talking about, the theater kids or the video kids had some camera outside in the yard, and everybody's been talking about that from the beginning. Um, Apparently, there were three or four polls, and there's a document, a Brett Payne document that, and you guys probably read this and know about it. I just thought catching up on this. New news for me. um, Three cameras. They're listed as evidence, and they're also listed as confidential informant, something like that. I don't know. I want to FOIA request that. Ooh, a time jump. That's the other thing I keep yelling at Carlos about. I have to quit yelling at him. I feel so bad for him. Carlos is a champ, you guys. I'm not yelling at him. I just get so mad about this case and so passionate about it. Like, all the video footage that's been cut and missing or hidden, or I just can't stand it. That alone is, like the Karen Reed case with the flipped video in the salad, or the inverted video. Like, we all know they do stuff like that. Yeah, and there's that missing footage from the Linda Lane cameras when it was. And I don't know if that's the. Lana kept talking about 20 minutes, like a 20-minute clip by the dumpster when that guy gets something out of the dumpster. I thought that was the video she was talking about, where there's like a time jump. I'm pretty sure I've watched it. Um, there's that missing time, and then there's also what she was just talking about with the rebooting of the system reboots every night at that specific time. Okay. And remember, I don't know where it came from, but remember everybody saying that, like, the whole university, like, the went offline or something? Remember that? 13 seconds. And that's the part that's missing? Yep. Yep. So, did I ask you guys this already about, Kane, did you do a show where you watched, and Christy, you too, oh my God, let me get my thoughts together. The roommate's interview outside the house, talking to the police officer right after the incident. They're outside in the parking lot, barefoot, blah, blah, blah. Didn't Dylan say he was taller? I don't know if he was taller or maybe shorter. She said something like that, taller and shorter, in one sentence. Am I hallucinating that? I know it doesn't seem important. I swear I heard it, and now it's not there. Well, Christy, see if you can find it, because I looked on Law and Order's original video, it's not there. I looked on Lana's video, it wasn't there. I looked on Dago's video, it wasn't there. And now I feel like I'm crazy. Laura, you heard it too. Oh, hey Lori, take that comment out. We don't do that here. We come at your neck here for that. Do you see it, Lori? Are you able to? Kane, can you take that down, Christy? Oh, a woman should take it down. Thank you. Meow. I'm feisty when it comes to that stuff. None of that here. None of that here. Peace and love. Peace and love on this channel. Well, I hope if you get a chance, yeah, that was odd. Who knows? Um, if you get a chance to look for that clip, maybe I know I looked at the there were two spots she was talking about describing the perpetrator. So unless if there was a third or fourth one in that video that I didn't see. It's driving me crazy though, because, when Carlos and I argue, we have to prove ourselves, right? So he was showing me, stuff, and I'm like, no, you got to see this. And then it wasn't there, and I look like an idiot. Check Brian Enton. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Christy. All right, how long have I been on? About 4. I've been walking for 40 minutes, and I haven't walked since I went to Lollapalooza. My daughter, when we walked somewhere between 8 and 10 miles every day. We were there for 3 days. We only went to Lollapalooza once, but just, walking around Chicago. Oh my God, we had so much fun, you guys. I know I posted some pictures on my community post, but being 55 years old and going to do something like that with your, 26-year-old daughter, oh my God, such good memories, so much fun. Yeah, I agree with that too. The way that Dylan was, and I don't think it would be hard to. She probably wasn't even faking the being upset part. I mean, like, that's traumatic, right? Like, even if you're scared of, possibly getting in trouble for something that's going to make you cry and be shaky and upset. So, I believe that part. But you're right. There were times when she got very serious very fast. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's the part of talking about people that, like, I know Carlos gets really upset with me about, and I don't blame him. Like, he's like, the humanity, show kindness to people, and I get it, but it's what she says, and what's missing, and what they're finding that is like, okay, sis, something don't add up. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And we're not making that up. Like, we can see. I gotta find that document now that shows the Lori, if you're still in here, did you hear me say that there was a blanket and jacket from Dylan's room that someone said not only tested positive for blood, but that it was victim's blood? And I know you have the documents, Lori. Like, I don't have them printed out. I have them saved, but I want to try to find that. Anyways, I'm going to start. Oh, I will. I'm going to start reading the documents one at a time. Just in a video, not in a live, and then I want like, I'll label the video, like, here's document blank through blank, and I'm not going to make them very long videos, less than an hour, so that people can, if they want just the information, they can go right to that document in my video and be able to use it. So I'm going to start that today, as soon as I get inside. And my phone battery's about to die. So, I was nervous about coming back on. Whenever I'm away from making videos or, doing my walk and talk, I always get like, oh, should I do this? I don't know. What's that called? When you have that self-doubt, I don't know. But I forced myself to do it anyways, and then I'm always so glad I did. I like it. So, thanks for I seen the part with there being, but I haven't seen where it says victims. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I really love that most of the creators on here are they try to be very ethical with making sure they're not saying anything that doesn't come from a document. And if they are saying something, they're always very sure to say, this is my opinion, this is speculation. I love that. So that's why he did say it was in a document. So, I mean, I believe him. Christy, we need to team up, girl. uh, I know. Are you a Pisces? I'm in the shade now. I can see. All right. Well, I'll see you guys back next Wednesday for another walk. And, oh, okay. I'm a Pisces. I'm like, we probably have the same, like, personality type or something. And I'm going to have Carlos and I record tonight. So be looking for videos from us. And I'll see you guys on Kane's channel. Kane Bees the Purge. If you haven't checked it out, go on over there. Christy, Nevada. Go check out her channel. She's got awesome information from FOIA requests, and she's starting to do amazing lives herself. So, yep, have a great day, everybody. Bye.